Good afternoon. My name is Heather, and also with me is my colleague Lois, and we're from the Department of Student Financial Assistance. We wanted to join you all today to share a little bit of information about our department and just some good information about student financial assistance, financial aid that will be of good information to you and your student and help you navigate the student financial assistance financial aid process. Of course, we'll be sharing some slides with you today on our PowerPoint presentation, but we will also share all of our office contact information and some important websites with you all today as well. But in the Department of Student Financial Assistance, we look forward to helping you take advantage of all available resources to assist you with paying for one of the most important investments that you will make in your student's life. How we can help you all, the parents. Federal regulations prohibit us from discussing a student's financial aid specifics without their permission. We are required to have the student present either in person or on the phone to give us that permission. If the student is not available, we can still give parents general information that in many ways still answers their questions. Many of our staff are or have been parents of college students, so we understand what parents need to know and will do everything we can within federal regulations to help give you the information you need. Please follow us on Twitter at WKU Financial Aid for Parents for updates and reminders your student may forget to tell you about. Today in our presentation, we will discuss scholarships, how to apply for financial aid, types of federal and state aid, cost of attendance, and other available resources. And I'm sure many of your all students applied for Top Dollar. Of course, that application for this current 2020-2021 school year was due back on February the 1st. And even as they become returning students next year and the year after that, they'll still be able to complete Top Dollar each year. So definitely have them watch their email for any Top Dollar updates. But like I said, this year, their incoming year wasn't the only time they'll be able to apply. They'll be able to apply for Top Dollar ongoing as returning students too. But anytime, that's the site that they will go to complete the Top Dollar scholarship application. And something else too, any information that you see today on this presentation, feel free to take screenshots of websites, phone numbers, what have you, but there is the website to access the Top Dollar scholarship application there. Our scholarship website, you'll also see it listed there too. You'll find information regarding scholarships available at WKU, including the TIP scholarship. Something to keep in mind, the FAFSA is not required for scholarships, okay? So if your student is going to be awarded scholarships, whether they be outside scholarships through Top Dollar, the FAFSA does not have to be filed. However, and Lois can probably agree with me too, I'm one of these heavy hitter, please do the FAFSA every year. I mean, it just makes life so much easier to have that FAFSA on file, because the FAFSA has to be completed, although not for scholarships, but to determine any eligibility for grants. If you guys need to be offered federal student loans, the FAFSA has to be filed. And then even if your student is just planning on working on campus, finding a job through student employment, the FAFSA has to be on file too. So although it's not required, we heavily suggest that you all complete the FAFSA each year. Moving along. How to apply for financial aid. This website here is going to look very familiar to you all, studentaid.gov. If you did complete the 2020-2021 FAFSA, you did it at that site there. It is the main website for federal student aid where you can complete the FAFSA, where if you are going to be accepting federal student loans, studentaid.gov is where you will complete, or the student will complete their loan entrance counseling for their loan. That is also where the student is going to complete a master promissory note. So studentaid.gov is a very important site and will be while your student is at WKU. Just a quick note on your calendars, an important date to always remember is October the 1st. Every October the 1st is when the new FAFSA for the upcoming school year will be available. So circle October 1st, because that is when you will need to go and complete or start to complete the FAFSA each year. Keep that in mind. Something else, parents, we'll talk more about the Parent Plus loan process in just a few minutes. If you all are going to apply for the Parent Plus loan, studentaid.gov is also where you will apply for the Parent Plus loan. And also parents will be required to sign a promissory note, and you will do that at studentaid.gov also. So studentaid.gov will be a very important website to you all throughout your student's career at WKU. Something else to keep in mind also, very good idea. Student Aid also has an app that you can download to either your Android or your iPhone. We highly recommend you download that Student Aid app. Completing the FAFSA, doing a loan entrance counseling, sign a promissory note can be done just as easily as having your phone there in your hand. So definitely encourage you to download that Student Aid app as well. Types of financial aid. There are state scholarships, which are gift aid, grants, which are gift aid. Keep in mind any funds that your student receives through scholarships or grants, those are funds that do not have to be repaid. Student loans are types of self-help aid. Student loans do have to be repaid, and student employment is also a type of self-help aid. The Key Scholarship for your students that are Kentucky residents, did attend high school in Kentucky. The Key Scholarship is going to be a very familiar term to you all, Kentucky residents. The requirements for the Key Scholarship included that your student be admitted to WKU as a Kentucky resident. The student must have graduated from a Kentucky high school. No application is necessary. The FAFSA, of course, was not required to receive the keys, as that was accrued by the student in high school. And the student must be enrolled in at least 6 credit hours each semester to receive keys. Anytime that you want to view your students' updated KIA information, their keys amount, anything to do with their keys account information, you can log on to kia.com to do that. Grants. You'll remember just a few minutes ago, I mentioned the importance of completing the FAFSA because the FAFSA does determine eligibility for any grants and lets us offer student loans as well. But the FAFSA must be completed for us to determine if a student is eligible for either the Pell Grant, the CAP Grant, or the SEOG Grant. The federal Pell Grant is the FAFSA is required to be completed, and eligibility is need-based. The aid amounts range from $348 to $3,173 per semester in the federal Pell Grant. And since grants are free money that you don't have to pay back, our office, we go ahead and automatically accept the grants for the student if they are awarded those. The CAP Grant. The CAP Grant, the student must be admitted to WKU as a Kentucky resident. The FAFSA is required, and the student must be Pell Grant eligible. The student must be enrolled in at least 6 credit hours per semester, and the maximum award for CAP Grant each semester is $1,100. The SEOG Grant, the FAFSA is required. The $250 maximum award of SEOG Grant per semester. Funds are limited, awarded until exhausted, and the student must be enrolled at least 6 credit hours to receive the SEOG grant. And that just kind of goes back to what I was saying. So important to do that FAFSA. Again, it comes out and is available to complete every October 1st. Try to get that done as soon as possible, because if your student is going to be eligible for grants, especially, SEOG grant, we want to make sure that FAFSA is on file so they don't miss out on any of those grant funds in case they do run out. So moving along, federal student loans. We encourage students and parents to always borrow wisely. For the majority of families, student loans are a necessity to help close the gap and help cover costs. While we encourage students to borrow as little as possible, keep in mind that education is an investment that will increase your earning potential throughout the course of the student's career. Now, here are the different federal student loans. A subsidized loan is a need-based loan where the interest is paid for the student while the student is enrolled in at least half-time or 6 hours per semester. The unsubsidized loan is a non-need-based loan where the interest accrues while the student is in school. And then the Parent Plus loan, and we have a couple slides on that here in just a few minutes, parents. Parent Plus loans are loans the parent of a student can apply for to help cover educational costs. The Parent Plus loan is a credit-based loan. So again, back to the two loans listed at the top, the subsidized loan, the government will pay interest for the student while the student is enrolled at least half time each semester. It is need-based. And then the unsubsidized loan, it's the non-need-based where the interest does start accruing while the student is in school. That's the difference between the two. Here's the process. And this slide here, if your student is with you this morning, this is the process that they're going to take if they do decide to accept the federal student loans that we have offered to them on TopNet. The student will need to log into their WKU TopNet account. They'll click on financial aid, then click on award, and then they'll need to be sure and click on the 2020-2021 school year. The student can accept the full amount or a portion of the student loan that has been offered. So each year, the federal government sets loan amounts for the year, and freshmen are offered $5,500 for the year in federal student loans. So that will be split between the fall and spring semester. The student will be offered $2,750 in the fall and $2,750 in the spring. So for example, if they log on to their TopNet account and you all may say, okay, we just want to borrow maybe $1,500 of that $2,750 each semester, the student can select a certain portion of that amount that's offered to them each semester. If they don't want to accept the full $2,750, they can accept whatever that they need each semester. After accepting the loan on TopNet, the student will need to go to studentaid.gov. There's that website again that's so familiar to you guys. They'll need to complete aid process. Once they go to studentaid.gov, click on complete aid process. And once there, they'll need to click on complete entrance counseling to complete the required loan entrance counseling session. Then they'll also need to complete the master promissory note, or MPN for short, to sign the promissory note. So those three things have to be done. And if the student just goes on to TopNet and accepts their loan, that's the other two steps are going to need to be done too. The funds from their loans won't actually post to their account until that entrance counseling and promissory note are done as well at studentaid.gov. So be sure they complete all three of those steps if accepting loans. Loan limits, and I kind of just mentioned this a few minutes ago. Of course, the freshman loan limit per year is $5,500 or $2,750 per semester. If the student's parent applies for the Parent Plus loan and the parent is not approved, for an additional $4,000 in unsubsidized loan for the academic year, or $2,000 per semester. So what that's saying, parents, so say you go to studentaid.gov and apply for the Parent Plus loan and you're denied. Then your student can be approved for $4,000 more in unsubsidized loan for the year, or $2,000 more per semester. So if you get denied and you can't get additional funding through Parent Plus loan, your student may be eligible for more unsubsidized loan. Keep that in mind. Parents, here's how you apply for that Parent Plus loan. Of course, you're going to do it at studentaid.gov. That famous website we're also familiar with. So you'll go to studentaid.gov. You'll log in with the parent's FSA ID. Your FSA ID is the same information that you use to electronically sign your FAFSA. That is your FSA ID. So you'll log in with your FSA ID. You'll click on Apply for Aid. Click on Apply for the Plus loan. And be sure to list yourself, the parent, as the borrower. Don't list the student, list yourself, or it'll kick out and our loan department will receive incorrect information. So be sure to list yourself, the parent, as the borrower. Parents can request a specific amount or can request the maximum loan, which can be awarded up to the student's budget that's created for them. Important, if you're requesting a specific amount, be sure to request the total amount needed for the full academic year, because amounts are automatically split evenly between the fall and spring semester. An approval or denial will be given immediately after submission. So as soon as you apply at studentaid.gov, you will know the results of your Parent Plus loan application. But again, just if you are approved, make sure that you borrow enough that is going to cover both semesters. Approved loans. Here's what happens if you are approved the Plus loan. If the parent is approved the Plus loan, you'll need to go back to studentaid.gov and click on Complete the Financial Aid Process, and then sign your loan agreement. Generally, the master promissory note is good for 10 years and can be used for each subsequent approved PLUS loan. So basically what that's telling you is when you sign that promissory note, parents, for that PLUS loan, if you all decide to go that route, that is good for 10 years. Beginning with the 2021-2022 academic year, parent and student borrowers will also be required to complete an annual loan acknowledgement session online. It will be required to be completed for each new loan taken out. So generally it will be required each new school year, not each semester. So while your master promissory note is good for 10 years, the new loan acknowledgement will be required each year. So that's something to keep in mind if you do decide to take out the Parent Plus loan each year. Your promissory note will be good for 10 years after you complete it this one time, but you'll have to complete that new loan acknowledgement each year. Denied PLUS loans, and we kind of mentioned this a few minutes ago, but we're going to highlight this again now. If the parent is denied the PLUS loan, the parent will have the option to obtain an endorser for your loan or a cosigner. If you are approved through an endorser / cosigner, the parent will need to sign the promissory note as indicated in the approved PLUS loan slide. So even if you do receive a cosigner or get a cosigner, parents will still need to complete the master promissory note. If approved through an endorser or a cosigner, the parent will also be required to complete the PLUS credit counseling, which can be found by clicking the Apply for Aid tab at studentaid.gov. So promissory note also, and then the PLUS credit counseling as well. If denied for the PLUS loan, our office will be notified of the denial by student aid, and your student will automatically have their unsubsidized loan increased by $4,000 for the year or $2,000 per semester. So if you're denied, we'll just offer your student $2,000 more each semester in unsubsidized loan. The student will not be required to sign any additional forms if you are denied the Parent Plus loan, as long as they have completed their loan entrance counseling, completed their master promissory note on their end for their federal student loans. Nothing extra is required for the additional unsubsidized loan to pay towards their account. Student employment, another big important reason to complete the FAFSA. Students can search for, and if there are open positions on campus that they may qualify for, they can work in offices on campus. Student employment requires a FAFSA to be filed every single year. Students can work a maximum of 20 hours per week, and that makes it so convenient. And I'm sure a lot of your all students work now part-time jobs in their hometown. If they do receive or do obtain employment on campus, 20 hours a week is the maximum that they can work. Okay. Student wages cannot be applied to tuition. If they do obtain a position in an office on campus, they would receive a paycheck every 2 weeks if they work hours each week. So they would receive a paycheck, and what they do with that paycheck every 2 weeks is totally up to them. If they wanted to cash the check or, and apply it toward their bill, they can certainly do that. Whatever personal expenses they have, they can use their funds for that, but it's totally up to them. They would get paid every 2 weeks. We have great student workers in our office. I know Sharon and the folks in housing have some awesome student workers. I was a student worker when I was here as an undergraduate student. I worked at the Preston Center and I loved it. It's a great experience, very convenient for the student if, they take their classes and then maybe they find a job on campus. They may never have to leave campus if they don't want to. Their work and their classes would all be here, as well as their home, temporary home for a little while. So it is very convenient. There's lots of offices, awesome offices on campus to work in. We do encourage, and if your students aren't with you on this today, download another app. We do encourage them to download the Handshake app. The Handshake app is where the offices are going to keep open vacant positions for student employment on campus available. They are going to list their vacancies on Handshake, so definitely download that app. Handshake accounts are created automatically for the students 10 days after the student registers for classes. So if you all have already attended a virtual top and it's been several days, they may already have a Handshake account, so have the students check. But if they haven't attended top yet, the Handshake will be created for them 10 days after they go to top. Enrolled students can log into Handshake using their WKU net ID and password. So keep that in mind. The closer we get to school starting, which is very close, a little over a month, that listing of vacant positions will probably become more populated as the different offices post their vacancies. So definitely have your students, if they are interested in student employment, to check Handshake pretty regularly. Additional resources. If additional funds are needed to help pay toward your costs each semester, above and beyond maybe loans that are offered to you all, scholarships the students may be receiving, grants they may be receiving, but there's still a balance to be paid each semester. These are just some additional ideas for other resources that you might look into to help cover that remaining balance each semester. The WKU Billings Office does offer payment plans each semester. You can get more information on those payment plans the Billings office offers at wku.afford.com. There are private loans that you all can apply for if that is something you might be interested in. Private loans are credit-based loans you apply for through a private bank or lender. So that would be maybe through your own bank or credit union. And there are some pretty reputable lenders out there, some educational lenders as well. I know Discover and Sally Mae are some of the ones that we commonly see, but you can research and look into other educational private lenders as well. Third-party scholarships. These are going to be scholarship opportunities that can be found through your community's local clubs, community's organizations, your church, or students, even your parents' employer. For example, I got a scholarship through my church each year, and it was very handy to me, helped me pay for my books each semester and some other personal expenses. So, you know, students, if you're with us today, or parents, tell your students, get out in your community and, you know, clubs that you might be affiliated with or organizations that you might have membership in, you know, definitely apply for those scholarships if they have those available. Reach, you know, talk to your parents and see if their employer, their workplace offers scholarships, but definitely look into those too, because those can add up and be very beneficial and helpful as well. Here's that My Student Aid app. I mentioned this earlier. Definitely download it to your phone. I know I'm giving you lots of busy work today, but download that My Student Aid app, also that Handshake app. My Student Aid, like I mentioned earlier, completing the FAFSA, signing a promissory note, signing an entrance or completing an entrance counseling, signing an acknowledgement form, that all can be done on the ease of that app on your phone. So definitely consider downloading the My Student Aid app. Contact information. If you've not taken any screenshots of anything else, I definitely encourage you to take a screenshot of this. This is our office's phone information. We are highly encouraging you all to reach out and talk to us if you have questions about your students' financial aid status. Something else we're also doing, we weren't able to have our in-person talks this year with everything going on, but we are still hoping to meet with the student and the parent one-on-one. Usually at the tops, we schedule appointments for you all to come talk to us, but we are scheduling those virtually, the one-on-one meetings. Reach out to us at fa.begin@wku.edu if you would like to have a one-on-one Zoom meeting with a counselor. We can go over any of your financial aid questions with you. We have an estimated cost calculator we can even share with you on the screen. So if you all haven't, I know a lot of you all have already attended TOP, or maybe you all have already had your one-on-one counseling sessions, but if you're not or haven't, reach out to us at fa.begin@wku and schedule those one-on-one Zoom appointments with a financial aid individual in our office. We'll be glad to answer any questions that you guys have. Always, for general questions, please email us at the site that you see there, fa.help@wku.edu. That's our general email mailbox. Any questions that you ever have now or when school starts, feel free to send us any questions you have there. And then, of course, there's our website. Visit that at any time. Financial aid information, scholarship information, student employment information could all be found on our website that you see there. But again, just reiterating, definitely if you haven't already had a one-on-one Zoom counseling session, reach out to us here, because we would still love to, although we can't be together in person, we'd still love to meet with you all one-on-one via Zoom. Helpful hints. Check your WKU topper email regularly. Parents, please have your students check their WKU email accounts regularly. Any financial aid information that our office may need, you know, missing documents, we will notify them there at their WKU email account. Award information is sent to their WKU email account. I know housing information sometimes is sent there. A lot of the offices on campus really rely on their WKU email accounts to send students very important information. So make them check their WKU email regularly. Follow us on Twitter. Our office does have 2 Twitter accounts. Actually, we have a Twitter account, WKU Financial Aid, and then we have the Twitter account, WKU Financial Aid for Parents. So definitely follow us on both of those. Follow us on Facebook. Also, we have a Facebook page. You'll see listed there, but we do have presence and are on social media. So definitely follow us at all of those social media outlets.
I'm going to add one thing about the Twitter for parents. If you guys will follow that through the semester, we do email students and remind them of things, but they don't always check their email. So important dates, SAP requirements, things that parents probably want to know, but you may not be told, we'll be able to put on there for you. Of course, it won't be specific, but it should be helpful to kind of keep you up on if something is still due, if there is a bill still out there, what might be causing it not to be paid, things like that. So if you would follow that WKU for Parents, we will be updating that regularly with information that should be very helpful to you.
And Sharon and Natalie, that pretty much completes our presentation for this morning. So we will open the floor for questions if you all want to proceed with that now.
That sounds good. If you will unshare your screen so we should be able to see I've still got you on there, and I'm not sure why. Am I visible on the screen?
We see you.
Okay. I'm on page 900. There we go. Page 999 of all the questions. I think we got most of them answered as we were going through. Lots of questions about when they would be billed, seeing the total cost of attendance, and we supplied the link to the bursar's office for that information. Lois answered. I'm scrolling through here, and we have a full house. We've got 65 people on, so that's amazing. Okay, we have bill schedule, payment schedule. That link is in the chat, so please go there. Dual credit, we answered that one. I think, if an external scholarship is not showing up on the financial aid awards page, what do I need to do to check on that?
That is a great question. And Sharon, you just let me know. Sorry to interrupt you, but
No, please jump right in.
If you want to follow up with the scholarships office on that external scholarship, you definitely can. I'll put it, I'll say it too, but I'll also put it in the chat. You can reach out to the scholarships office at scholarships with an S on the end at wku.edu. And I just put it, let me add my S that I was just so.
I'll help a bit there, Heather. If you sign on to the Parent and Family Portal, there is an entire community that has all of those links available. Scholarships, VA, everything that scholarships and financial aid is available there. We try to, Student Financial Assistance has been an incredible partner for us. And we have supplied all the information there for you as a parent so you don't have to fumble through the websites. We will be adding the Twitter WKU Financial Aid for Parents, but we do supply that information to you directly through your newsletters. So when financial aid publishes something, if you're on our Parent and Family Facebook page, or if you're a member of the portal, we're going to echo that information every time they send something out to your student.
Sharon, quick question. We have a parent on the phone who accidentally got disconnected and wants to get back in. So I'm just letting them know they should be able to click back on the Zoom link to get back in.
Absolutely, and Natalie's got that. So she will let them back in. we've had all the technical difficulties in the world today, so it's been good practice. If you're an employee, that filling out for the tuition discount, that is online. That should be an electronic form. If your employee has a question about that, please feel free to email, fa.begin@wku.edu, and they have been incredibly responsive. I'm getting answers back in less than a day, so that's a good way to do it. And Natalie has dropped that in the chat box. Jean, I'm unclear about your question. Sometime in July, I'm not quite sure what that refers to in this stream of consciousness on here. Are there any other questions?
Receiving top dollar scholarships that she applied for was a follow-up to her first question.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. If your student has been awarded anything through Top Dollar, they're notifying of those awards at their WKU email account. So definitely have them check their WKU email account. Like I said, if they were eligible for or did receive anything, that's how the scholarships office is notifying them at their WKU email account. I think they are probably still continuing to award some. I don't think that they're totally done, and probably will be, I'd say, through the rest of this month. But if they are awarded anything, they'll definitely be notified at their WKU email account.
And they do third-party scholarships as they come in. So as the scholarships come in, they usually get them posted within a day or two of when they receive them in here.
Billing is not complete. That link that I put in on for the bursar's office will tell you when they will bill. There are several different billing dates that are dependent upon when your student registers. So it will tell you, let's say, and I think one of them is August 1st, it will tell you the due date. And then if your student registered after another certain point, it will give you that new due date. The most important thing, and I can't urge this enough, is to have your student go on to TopNet and make sure that your desired email is in the billings email. That way you get a copy of everything billing as it goes through there.
If a parent is an employee, would that decrease the merit amount that their child would receive?
Let's go to scholarships at wku.edu for that. I'm always hesitant because there's so many different things that each individual student has. So contact them and they will be happy to walk you through that process.
Where do third-party scholarship monies get sent? Is there an address?
There is, and it should be on the website. Go to the parent portal, click on the scholarships link, and their contact information and mailing address is there. If there are any questions, their direct phone number is also listed there, so you can call and make sure. And third parties, most of them are used to submitting scholarships to WKU, so it's a really, really easy process.
When do students get their WKU email account?
When they attend TOP. If you have any questions about whether or not they should have that email account, have your student email top, excuse me, top@wku.edu, and the orientation office can verify that they have attended. And if the account wasn't created, they can be your go-between between information technology and your student. Great question.
If your student still needs to attend TOP, I've put the link to register. There's still a few sessions throughout the rest of the summer, so feel free to click that link and register for TOP.
And if you haven't attended your new family and friends orientation, we have some coming up. The registration link is on the parent portal. And my contact information is there as well. If you're confused and don't know which office to contact, reach out by email. And I guess I should have introduced myself as the coordinator of parent and family programs. So I'm your advocate here on campus. What are family and friends orientation? That's the how to transition your student to college. It's information about the flow of the semester. It's information about resources. And those are more generalized resources, and that's targeted to you as a parent to act as a coach and support network for your student.
And she is great.
Jeez. Do I need to fill out the FAFSA for dual credit?
The one financial aid question I can answer, no.
Will housing is not on a separate bill, correct? It's lumped in, right?
It's
Am I
lumped in, but it's not a part of the tuition. And I think I put the link in there with the cost of attendance that breaks down tuition, fees, housing, meal plans, incidentals. Those are part of a budget that financial aid uses to give you an idea of what the complete cost of attendance is.
If they have not attended TOP yet and they don't have their WKU email, how will they get their scholarship information? Will it be resent later?
The email that the student provided as part of the admissions process is the email that we will communicate with them until they've completed TOP and their WKU email address is assigned. When it is assigned, the student will get an email to that previously provided email account with information about how to log in, how to activate it, and all of that information.
And then this one is further back, but I just want to make sure we covered it. If someone doesn't want to apply for financial aid until scholarships are awarded, when will they know?
You need to apply for financial aid yesterday. Complete, and please, Heather, jump in anytime. You need to complete that FAFSA, make sure you go through that process.
Regardless, yes. Because even, I mean, and like I said, just going back to, it's always available October 1st of each year. So for 2020, 2021, it's been out there since October 1st. But go ahead and do it. You know, like I said, it determines eligibility for grants. It allows us to offer student loans, and it has to be out there too if your student does find employment on campus. But even if, you know, loans is the only thing that they're eligible for, we will list those out there on their account as offered. We won't apply loans to their account unless you guys accept those. So it doesn't hurt to go ahead and do it. So that way, once you do find out your scholarship award information, the FAFSA will be there, and we can go ahead and revert back to the FAFSA if we need to.
And I just wanted to reiterate what Heather was saying. If your student wants employment on campus, they have to have a FAFSA on file, even if they don't use any of it. So if anything, just to not limit their ability to be employed, they need to have their FAFSA on file.
Just make that part, make completing the FAFSA part of your yearly routine. It just doesn't hurt to have it on file. It just saves a lot of time and headache later.
Someone asked about the fees breakdown form, and Karen shared it in the chat. And then someone asked, how long do I have to accept a loan? I want to see the full amount minus scholarship money.
Well, the loan, it only takes from the time that the student accepts the loan through their TopNet account, does their counseling session and promissory note. Loans don't even credit accounts until after the first week of classes. So they can decide, you know, they can accept the loan, not do the promissory note or counseling session. They've got up until there's not a deadline on it. So they can just leave it out there. And then once they decide, say, if they get the information late August, they can go in and accept it then. And then of course they don't have to accept the full amount. If it ends up that they only need about $1,000, then they can go in and accept just $1,000 of it. But we leave those offers out there until literally the last day of classes in the fall semester. That's when we cancel those.
Are there any other questions? I think we've answered all that were put in the chat.
I just added meal plan information, housing rates, tuition and fees. There are a bunch of, let me see if I can make that everyone instead of private. Sorry about that. I
It
answered.
does, everyone.
Okay, good. I think I got everything else.
Someone said post September 11th, how to apply.
That's probably going to be our VA office. I can give you their email. Actually, I'll type it in chat. There's a VA office that receives and applies any benefits that students may be eligible for. I'm actually putting their email address in the chat right now. You can reach out to VA with any questions about those benefits at va.questions with an S at WKU.edu, and I just added that to the chat. They'll be able to give you information on that post 9/11.
Miss Sharon, is this video going to be posted on the portal for later?
Yes, ma'am. Just as soon as we get it edited and ready to go. I have one final question, and I would like as many of you as possible. You know what? I'm going to create a quick poll. So anybody, Heather and Lois, do you have anything else you want to add? And I'm going to put a quick poll question out there to get some response back from our attendees. But thank you all so much.
There's still stuff coming into the chat, so I just want to make sure we don't.
Good, we're not. I'm gonna, all right. I'm just putting a simple yes or no question out there. And that is, there you go. Was this helpful? And you can do it anonymously. And where do I find billing? That link is out there, Laura. It's the Bursar.
Heather, how do folks get assigned a specific financial aid counselor?
We're just reiterating, you won't be assigned a specific financial aid counselor per se, but we do have counselors that are available at all. I mean, every day, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. You can reach out and any of us will be able to help you. We don't, like I said, assign a specific counselor, but again, just reiterating to have a Zoom session with a counselor to talk about the upcoming school year and your student's financial aid status, to meet with a counselor, to have a Zoom session, a Zoom counsel with a counselor, email us at that fa.begin. It's FA as in financial aid .begin at WKU.edu, and we can get you all with someone to have a one-on-one meeting with a financial aid counselor.
And then how is a loan dispersed? For example, does it go to housing, tuition, meal plans, etc. first?
Well, basically everything is going to show up on the student's bill, their housing, meal plans, tuition. So their loan is just going to go towards that bill. It's not going to, as far as you guys see, it just reduces the bill by whatever amount the loan is.
And then just to confirm, all top dollar scholarships will be dispersed by the end of July. Then after that, we should accept or apply for loans.
Not necessarily by the end of July, because anytime there's still additional funds, they're going to continue making awards. But those loans, they will stay out there. So if you want to just make positively sure there are no other scholarships coming in, you can wait until the very last minute. You can wait until September if you want to accept that loan. So it's where the loans will not go away. They'll just sit there until you are ready to accept them.
And then John asked, you said added costs of attendance to where was it added? Parent and family portal.
Okay, say that again. I'm sorry, I was typing.
John said, you said the added cost of attendance to where was it added? Parent and family portal. I'm not sure what it's referring to.
Okay, there are links in chat, and I will add a link and a section on bursar and billing to the portal. You all were very helpful in identifying that need. So we will add that. Will my child be able to start school without their bill being paid? Yes. I would urge you to go to the bursars page there are payment plan options available so that you can set that up before the semester begins if you know that you need that flexibility. I did when I was paying for my children. So that is available there, and it will tell you all the information you need for that. I still have 16 people who have not voted in my poll.
Someone asked, I don't know if my daughter filled out a scholarship application and she can't remember. Is there a way to check?
Sure. Again, if you want to follow up, and I'll put their email address here in the chat, you can reach out to the scholarships office and they can check to see. Just send them an email there to scholarships with an S at wku.edu, and they'll be able to look into that for you.
Thank you. You all have been one of the most interactive groups ever. So I really appreciate this. You've given us a lot to work with. We learned so much from each of you when you attend these sessions. So Natalie, if we're clear, and I know she's typing, Lois, Heather, are there any other final thoughts?
Just of course, reach out to us at FA Begin to set up those one-on-one Zoom sessions so we can answer any other questions that you or your students may have. We'll be looking forward to hearing from you, and thanks for having us today. We've had a great time and just overjoyed to share this information with you all, and just reach out to us anytime you've got questions.
Quick question, follow-up. I just thought of this. Does the student need to be present for the Zoom meeting?
Yes, please.
Okay.
For sure. Student and parent. And of course, when we've been setting those up, and I've been having them too, you know, I try to put in the email, student and parent both need to be present. So definitely, you know, make it a time when you do reach out that both of you guys are going to be available to be in the Zoom meeting.
All right then. So everyone have a wonderful day. If you know of folks who could use this information, pay attention to your family and parent portal newsletter, and we will let you know when it's posted. If you have housing questions, since those are the people who pay my salary, please refer to the First Year Families tab and our first two housing sessions, all about applying, master plan. The second one is on move-in, and there are a couple of new move-in options, and your student will need a move-in time slot. So make sure to watch those two videos. And 2 minutes early, we're going to let you go, and thank you all so much.